Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to learn how to play Another Man's Treasure, which is going to be published by Grandpa Beck Games, and it's a 2 to 6 player game in which you're trying to get the lowest score. You're going to be trying to shed your hand of cards as the game goes by to collect these different sets, and try not to have cards at the end of each round. You're going to go over 5 rounds, and the person with the lowest score is going to win. Let's go ahead down to the table here, and I'm going to show you how to play Another Man's Treasure. All right, so this is going to be Another Man's Treasure. Now, Another Man's Treasure is going to be a game you're going to play over 5 rounds, and through those 5 rounds, you're trying to get the lowest score. Now, there's going to be 2 modes to this game. There's going to be the classic game, and there's going to be the progressive game. On the score pads here that you're going to hand out to players, there'll be a progressive game side and a classic game side. Now, the classic game side is the simplest game, and it can end pretty quickly with people completing a pattern because they have 8 cards, and a pattern is going to be 8 cards to set it down. So you will probably start with the classic mode, but you'll probably go into the progressive mode pretty quickly. Now, to set up the game, it's really simple. You're going to hand out one of these reminder cards to each player, so each player is going to get a reminder card. You're going to give each player the correct scorecard. So if you're playing the classic this side, if the progressive, they'll flip it to that. And on each round here, you're going to deal out 8 cards to each player. Now, if it's the first round, you'll go ahead and start the discard pile. So we'll have a discard pile. On a player's turn, you could simply only do a couple different things. You can draw a card. Now it has to come from here or here, and then discard a card. So you can see you have 8 cards here, and a pattern is going to be 8 cards. So why wouldn't it be that every time you play this game, once you've meet your pattern, you place it down, that you have an extra card? All right, so there's a special can I have it rule. Now the can I have it rule is, let's say it's the end of my turn and I discard this 7. If I discard the 7, someone can say, can I have it? Now we're going to go in turn order, so from my right, and each player is going to decide whether they want to have it till they get to the player that said, can I have it? Now, if any players before the player that said, can I have it, wants it, they will just simply add this card to their hand. They don't discard any cards, they add this card to their hand. So they went from 8 cards to now having 9 cards. And that's how you're going to get extra cards in your hand in the classic mode. Now, in addition, one thing you can do is on your turn, you can place it down and you can say, can I have it? And then we're going to go all the way around, and if no one else wanted it, you're going to get it and place it in your hand. So you could actually do that for your own card. Now, a couple rules for this. This has to occur before the next player draws their card. So as a nice courtesy, maybe take a couple seconds before you draw your card to allow everyone to see whether they want to call, can I have it? All right, so let's say someone put down their set. This isn't a set. And they have no cards left in their hand. The round will end. Now, at the end of this round, everyone's going to have one chance to look at their hand and see if they can place down a set. If they can, they will. And that will allow them to have less of a positive score at the end of the round, which is bad. Once everyone has determined whether they can play their sets, they're going to mark their sets off make sure their sets that they use this round are marked off on their score sheet so they can't use them in following rounds. They will then add up all the numbered cards in their hand that were left. So these are going to be positive points that you're going to add in. And wild cards here, there's some treasure cards in this game too here. They'll be worth 5 points each. Wild cards here are going to be worth 10 points each. And the 1 through 11 wild card, which is the big wild card, is going to be worth 15 points. You're going to take that score and you're going to place it in the proper game score area here of your score track. Then you're going to be ready to do the next round. So for the next round, you'll just shuffle up all these cards here. You'll hand out 8 cards to each player, and then you'll flip a new card to start the discard pile and start that round. Now in the new round, you can't use the pattern that you've marked off. So you'll be limited to those patterns. You're going to continue on until we end to the 5th round. At the end of the 5th round, the final score will occur. The player with the lowest score at the end of that 5th round is going to be the winner. If there's a tie, the player who completed the most collection patterns will win. If there's still a tie, the victory will be shared. Now, that is going to be how you play the classic mode. In the progressive mode, there's just a little bit more. You're going to be using the opposite side of the score sheet. So you're going to be using this side of the score sheet here. And you're going to play through the game with progressively larger hands in here. We're going to go over a couple things for this progressive run. For a longer, more challenging game, 9 rounds can be played. So it's going to go over 9 rounds, and they're going to be broken into sets of 3. So in each of these rounds, so the first set of 3 rounds, you're going to have 6 cards to start the game with. Same rules as the classic one, but you're only going to have these 3 different patterns you can do. 1 suited run of 6, 2 sets of 3, 3 suited pairs. Next, once you complete these 3 rounds and you got your scores from each of those 3 rounds, you're going to do another set of 3 rounds, and this one's going to have 8 cards. So you're going to have 1 suited run of 8, 2 sets of 4, and 4 suited pairs is going to be your 3 different patterns that you could have for the second set. This last set, you're going to have 10 cards, and you're going to be able to do 2 suited runs of 5, 2 sets of 5, or 5 suited pairs. Those are the patterns you can have. So you could see where this progressive game is going to really sort of amp up as time goes by. And at the end of the 9th round, the person with the most or least amount of points is going to win. Now, something different in this progressive game is you can get smiley face points. One of the 5, 6, and 7 of each color have this symbol. So let's find one here. So one of these is going to have a smiley face. So for this symbol here, you're going to earn negative 10 points per card with that symbol if you've played it. If this card is stuck in your hand at the end of the round, you're going to receive 10 bonus points. So you're going to want to play this one out, and you can reduce your score with these through the progressive game. So that's a really cool twist on this. So other than that, you're going to follow the sheet. All the rules that you care about are on here, except for that smiley face bonus that you can have in here. So you'll know that you're going to be playing over 9 rounds. As the game goes by and you're writing this down here, you're going to look to see how many cards that you're going to get and what sets you can complete. So that is the progressive game. And I think that one is going to be where the meat of the game is at. Once you've played the classic game a couple times, the progressive game is really where it's at. So that was how to play Another Man's Treasure. Thank you for watching.